Hi students, welcome to the problem solving session on energy and power signal. Let us see this question. We have to check whether the given signals are energy or power signal. Right? The first question is x of n is equal to del of n. Okay, so we know that del of n exists only at n is equal to 0. So x of n also exists n is equal to 0, and for all other values it is 0. That's what your x of n also, because x of n is equal to del of n. Now we find energy. What is the equation for energy? Energy is given by summation n goes to, otherwise you put limit also, no problem. Limit n tends to infinity, summation n goes to minus n to plus n, x of n square. This is the formula for energy. So x of n is del of n that exists only at n is equal to 0. So even though n varies from minus n to plus n, our signal exists at only n is equal to 0. At the time also the value is 1. So you don't need to do anything, just simply put 1, because the x of n exists. If you substitute the x of n is equal to del of n square, my x of n exists only at n is 0. Even though the limit goes from minus n to plus n, we don't need to take, because all other n, the value is 0. At n is equal to 0, del of n, when n is equal to 0, x of n or del of n is equal to 1. So 1 only. So that is what our E. Right? So energy is finite. So when energy is finite, power must be 0. So it is a energy signal. Already we proved a unit impulse is a energy signal in a continuous time also. It is confirmed here. Right? Okay. So if you have any doubt how power is 0, simply you see limit for p, limit n tends to infinity, 1 by 2n plus 1, summation n goes to minus n2 plus n, mod x of n square. You see x, this is what our value 1. Yes or no? So instead of this we substitute 1. So limit n tends to infinity, 1 by 2n plus 1. Okay, plus 1. That's the formula. This is what 1, right? That value is equal to 1. Limit n tends to infinity, you cannot apply for constant, that's why it became 1. So similarly here also 1. What happens? Okay, it has created confusion. Fine. So this value is 1. 1 divided by, when n tends to infinity, 1 by infinity is 0. So power 0. So hereafter I assume that when energy is finite, power 0. I don't do the problem. You don't need to do in the exam also. When energy is finite, power must be 0 only. So energy is finite, power is 0. So it's a power signal, proved. Second one is unit step. X of n is u of n. That's what they gave. So first we find power. Power is given by limit t tends to infinity, 1 by 2n plus 1, summation n goes to minus n2 plus n, x of n whole square. Substitute x of n is equal to value n1 to n1 minus 2 minus n2 plus n. Here you see x of n is u of n. U of n, we know u of n values varies from, when n is greater than 0, u of n is 1. When n is less than 0, u of n is 0. So u of n is having only value for positive n. So n starts from here, so we don't need a negative value, because n starts from negative. So remove it, only take positive value, that is from 0 to n. Here 1. From 0 to any value, what is the u of n value? 1. So x of n is nothing but u of n square. U of n is 1, so 1 square. Okay. So that's what this equation. We know that the hereafter it is very simple. We know the equation, summation n goes to 0 to n, 1 is equal to n plus 1. So substitute that value, limit here, this is a formula, So limit n tends to infinity 1 by n plus 1. Instead of this one, you substitute n plus 1. Right? So don't directly conclude infinity by infinity. By substituting n is equal to infinity, please take n outside from numerator and denominator. So n I take outside, it is 1 by 1 plus n. Here also n I take outside, it is 2 by 2 plus 1 by n. Now you substitute n tends to infinity. So this n cancel. 1 plus 1 by infinity 0 divided by 2 plus 1 by infinity 0. The answer is 2. That's what your power. So just now only I told when power is finite, energy must be infinite. So when power is finite, energy must be infinite. So it is a power signal. Already we proved a unit step is a power signal in continuous time. In discrete time also, unit step is a power signal. Okay. So simple. Clear? Why? See, up to I can again prove simplest way. What is E? E is given by limit n tends to infinity. Summation n goes to minus n2 plus n x of n square. What is the only difference? This 1 by 2n plus 1 is not there. So limit n tends to infinity. Instead of this, what is the answer we have? Except this 1 by 2n plus 1, we have the answer is n plus 1. Yes or no? This is the answer. Now if we substitute n tends to infinity, E becomes infinity only. So you can directly write answer as E is equal to infinity. So please remember, when power is finite, surely energy must be infinity. You don't need to do. When energy is finite, power will be 0 only. You don't need to prove it in the exam also. Directly you can write. Right? Otherwise, if you want to prove, follow the same procedure and find the answer, it will be 0. Okay? And third problem is, what is the energy, whether, so step is a power signal. We have to check whether ramp is an energy signal or power signal. Already we proved ramp is neither energy nor power. In continuous time, here also we will try. What is that? First we say P is equal to limit n tends to infinity 1 by 2n plus 1 summation n goes to minus n2 plus n x of n whole square. We know ramp is having value n for n is greater than 0, 0 when n is less than 0. Yes or no? So here also RAM is only having value for positive n. So no need to go for n negative. So what I have to do? 1 by 2n plus 1. RAM has ramp has n is greater than 0. So no negative value. So start from n is equal to 0 only. For n is equal to 0 to any number, ramp has a value of n. So it is n square. X of n is n. Because x of n is a ramp square is n square. Okay. Okay. Now you do that. Limit n tends to infinity 1 by 2n plus 1. We know sum of n squared is given by, what is the answer? You can keep like this. Okay, here you keep sum of n squared. We know what is the 0 to n sum of n squared. We know it is n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6 that we studied in our school days. Right? Sum of n squared from 0 to n is given by n into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. What will happen? So if you simplify that, surely if you substitute n tends to infinity, in numerator we have n into n squared, n cube. Denominator we have n only. So n cube by n, we have numerator n squared value. Right? So surely it will be infinity. So power is infinity. Right? What about energy? Energy is again limit n tends to infinity except this 1 by 2n plus 1. Except this 1 by 2n plus 1, the answer is this one only. N into n plus 1 into 2n plus 1 by 6. Surely this is also infinity. So energy is infinity. So both energy and power are infinity. This implies ramp is what? Neither energy nor power signal. Already we proved this in continuous also. The same is applied here too. Neither energy nor power signal, right? Okay, next we see, what about a fourth problem? The fourth problem is given by, okay, what is that? X of n is equal to e power j omega n plus theta. So let us do that. X of n is equal to e power j omega n plus theta. This is the fourth problem, right? So let us see that. First we find power. Power is given by limit n tends to infinity 1 by 2n plus 1 summation n goes to minus n to plus n modulus of x of n squared modulus of e power j omega n plus theta whole squared. I told already modulus of okay, right, first this one summation n goes to minus n to plus 1. I told already modulus of e power j theta is always 1. If you have any doubt, please refer my video on energy and power signal. I put already, right? So this is what this one. We know already summation of n goes to minus n to plus n, 1 is 2n plus 1. That we write limit n tends to infinity 1 by 2n plus 1 into 1 by 2 into 2n plus 1. This is equal to 2n plus 1 formula. So what will happen? Both the things will be cancelled, right? So what we get is P is equal to 1. Power finite means energy must be infinity, I told already. So surely it must be a power signal. So complex exponential is a power signal. Already we proved the same in the continuous domain also. So that is confirmed here, right? I hope you understand all the problems clearly. If you have any doubt, please ask me in comment section. I will clarify all your doubts. Thank you.